My foster son went no contact for 8 years, then came back wanting to rebuild. I gave him a chance. Now I regret every second and wish I'd kept that door slammed shut forever. I opened my door 8 years after he disappeared and saw him standing there with tears in his eyes. "Dad," Wyatt said. Voice shaking. "I'm so sorry. For everything. Can we talk?" I should have said no. Should have closed the door in his face. Should have remembered every single thing he'd done before he vanished from my life. But I didn't. I let him in. And that decision destroyed everything I'd rebuilt in his absence. My name is Julian Coleman. I'm 63 years old. I've been a foster parent for 37 years. Taken in 42 kids over those decades. Some stayed weeks. Some stayed years. Some I'm still in contact with. Some disappeared the day they aged out. Wyatt was different. Or I thought he was. I took him in when he was 14. Angry kid. Violent outbursts. History of running away from every placement. 6 foster homes in 3 years. Nobody wanted him. Nobody thought he was salvageable. I did. I thought I could reach him. Thought I could be the one stable thing in his chaotic life. For 4 years, I tried. Gave him structure. Boundaries. Consequences. Love. Everything a kid is supposed to have. He fought me every single day. Stole from me constantly. Cash from my wallet. My watch. My late wife's jewelry that I'd kept in a box in my bedroom. Sold it all for whatever he wanted that week. Lied about everything. Where he was going. Who he was with. What he was doing. Every word out of his mouth was calculated deception. Got violent when I confronted him. Punched holes in walls. Broke furniture. Threatened me more than once. I'm a big guy, but he was 18 and angry, and I genuinely worried he might hurt me. I kept trying anyway. Because that's what you do. You don't give up on kids just because they're difficult. Then he aged out at 18. I offered to let him stay. Keep living with me. Go to community college. Get a job. Build a foundation. He laughed in my face. "I don't need you anymore," he said. "I don't need your rules or your lectures or your pathetic attempts to control me. I'm done." He packed his stuff. Took money from my wallet on his way out. Left. I didn't hear from him for 8 years. Not a call. Not a text. Not a birthday card. Nothing. I tried reaching out the first year. Called his phone. Left messages. Sent texts. Got nothing back. Eventually I stopped trying. Moved on. Kept fostering other kids. Kids who appreciated what I offered. Kids who wanted help. Then 3 months ago, my doorbell rang at 7 in the evening. I opened it expecting a delivery. Got Wyatt instead. He looked different. Older obviously. Thinner. Worn down. Like life had beaten him pretty thoroughly. "Dad," he said again. "Can we please talk?" Every instinct screamed to say no. To close the door. To protect myself from whatever manipulation was coming. But he was crying. Actually crying. And part of me, the part that had tried so hard to help him for 4 years, wanted to believe he'd changed. "Come in," I said. Biggest mistake of my life. We sat in my living room. Same couch where we'd fought 100 times. Same room where he'd smashed a lamp during an argument about curfew. "I know I don't deserve your time," Wyatt started. "I know I was horrible to you. I know I hurt you. But I've spent 8 years thinking about what I did. How I treated you. And I'm so sorry." He sounded genuine. Looked genuine. Every part of his body language screamed remorse. "What do you want, Wyatt?" "I want to rebuild our relationship. I want to be your son again. I want to make up for all the years I wasted being angry and stupid." "Why now? What changed?" "I hit rock bottom. Lost my job. Lost my apartment. Been living in my car for 2 months. And I realized the only person who ever actually cared about me was you. The only person who tried to help me. And I threw it away because I was too stubborn to see it." Rock bottom. The magic phrase that makes foster parents weak. The moment we're supposed to swoop in and save them. I should have been smarter. Should have seen the pattern. Should have recognized manipulation. But I wanted to believe him. Wanted to believe 4 years of trying hadn't been completely wasted. "What do you need?" "Just a chance. That's all. A chance to show you I've changed. I'm not asking to move in. I'm not asking for money. Just let me prove I'm different now. Just a chance." Such a small request. Such a reasonable ask. "Okay," I said. "We can try." He smiled. Hugged me. Thanked me repeatedly. I felt good about it. Felt like maybe this was redemption. Maybe this was the moment everything I'd invested in him finally paid off. I was catastrophically wrong. The first week was fine. Wyatt came over for dinner twice. We talked about his life. His struggles. His regrets. Everything seemed sincere. Week 2 he asked if he could borrow $50 for gas. His car was almost empty. He had a job interview across town. Just needed to get there. $50 seemed reasonable. I gave it to him. Week 3 he asked for 100. His car needed repairs. Just the alternator. Cheap fix, but he didn't have the cash. I hesitated. Started feeling uneasy. But he'd been so genuine. So remorseful. So changed. I gave him the 100. Week 4 he asked to stay with me temporarily. Just 2 weeks. His car got towed. He couldn't afford to get it out. Just needed a place to crash while he saved up. That's when I should have said no. Should have drawn a hard boundary. But he'd seemed so different. So genuinely trying. And 2 weeks seemed manageable. 2 weeks, I said. That's it. Thank you, Dad. I promise I won't let you down. He moved in the next day with one backpack. Said he'd lost most of his stuff when his apartment got evicted. The first 3 days were fine. He helped around the house. Cooked dinner one night. Seemed genuinely grateful. Day 4 I came home from my weekly errands and immediately knew something was wrong. My office door was open. I always keep it closed. Always. I went in. My desk had been searched. Drawers opened. Papers moved. My checkbook was missing. I found Wyatt in the kitchen making a sandwich. Did you go in my office? No. Why? My checkbook is missing. I don't know anything about that. Maybe you misplaced it. The same lie. The same casual deception. The same Wyatt from 8 years ago. I didn't misplace it. It was in my locked desk drawer. Well, I didn't take it. Maybe you forgot you moved it. I wanted to throw him out right then. Wanted to demand he leave immediately. But I didn't have proof. Just suspicion. And maybe I really had misplaced it. I let it go. Called my bank. Canceled the checks. Ordered new ones. 2 days later I got a call from my bank. Someone had tried to cash a check from my account at a check cashing place across town. For $800. Made out to Wyatt Coleman. Signed with a version of my signature. The check cashing place had refused it because the signature didn't match their records. I confronted Wyatt when he got home. Want to explain why you tried to cash a forged check on my account? I have no idea what you're talking about. The bank called. They have the check. It's made out to you. In my handwriting. Someone must have stolen my ID. Maybe that's why my stuff got towed. Identity theft. Identity theft. A new lie. More sophisticated than his teenage excuses but still obviously fake. Get out. Dad, please. Don't call me that. You're not my son. You never were. You were a foster placement I tried to help and you've done nothing but use me. Get out of my house. I have nowhere to go. Not my problem. You have 1 hour to pack and leave or I'm calling the police. He packed. But before he left, he looked at me with pure hatred. You're pathetic, he said. You act like you care about people but you give up the second things get hard. You're a fraud. A pathetic old man playing savior to make yourself feel important. He left. I locked the door behind him. Changed the locks the next morning. But the damage was already done. Over the next week I discovered what else he'd taken. My credit cards. He'd stolen them from my wallet while I slept. Used them at gas stations and convenience stores. Racked up $2,000 in charges before I caught it. My laptop. Taken from my bedroom. Pawned for $300. I found the pawn ticket in the trash. Cash from my emergency fund. $500 I kept in a coffee can in the kitchen. Gone. Photos of my late wife. Irreplaceable photos from our wedding. From our honeymoon. From the trips we took before she died. Ripped up and thrown in the dumpster behind my house. That last one broke me. Everything else was just money. The photos were pieces of my life I could never get back. He'd destroyed them out of spite. Out of pure malicious hatred because I'd kicked him out. I filed a police report. Credit card fraud. Theft. Forgery. Everything. The detective who took my statement looked sympathetic. Foster kid? Former foster kid. Aged out 8 years ago. Let me guess. Came back recently asking for help. You gave him a chance. He burned you. How did you know? Because we see it constantly. Kids age out. Struggle. Come back to their former placements with sob stories. Get let back in. Steal everything they can. Disappear again. It's a pattern. Will you find him? We'll try. But honestly? These guys know how to disappear. And unless we catch him with your stuff, it's hard to prove. They never found him. Wyatt vanished again. Back into whatever hole he'd crawled out of. But the damage wasn't just financial. Wasn't just the stolen items or the forged checks. It was the other kids. I currently have 3 foster placements. Teenage boys. All with difficult backgrounds. All trying to figure out their lives. They saw what Wyatt did. Saw him come back. Saw me give him a chance. Saw him destroy that chance spectacularly. And they learned the wrong lesson. 2 weeks after Wyatt left, one of my current kids, Devin, asked if he could borrow money. For what? Just some stuff I need. I'll pay you back. What kind of stuff? Why does it matter? Don't you trust me? Trust. The word Wyatt had weaponized. The word that made me question my own judgment. No, I said. I don't trust you with money you won't explain. So you think I'm like Wyatt? You think I'm going to steal from you? I didn't say that. But you're thinking it. You gave him a chance and he screwed you. So now you don't trust any of us. He was right. I didn't trust them the same way anymore. Wyatt had poisoned that well completely. Devin started acting out. Missing curfew. Skipping school. Getting into fights. When I confronted him, he threw Wyatt in my face. Why should I even try? You're just going to give up on me anyway. Just like you gave up on him. I didn't give up on Wyatt. He stole from me. Yeah. And the second things got hard, you kicked him out. So why should I believe you won't do the same to me? I tried explaining the difference. Tried making him understand that consequences for theft aren't the same as giving up. He didn't buy it. And neither did the other two kids. Within a month, all three were asking to be transferred to different placements. Said they didn't feel safe with me. Didn't trust me not to abandon them. My caseworker tried to smooth things over. Tried to explain to them what Wyatt had done. Why my reaction was justified. They didn't care. In their minds, I'd proven I was like every other adult who'd given up on them. One mistake and you're out. All three transferred within 6 weeks. My house went from full to empty. My caseworker called me last week. Julian, we need to talk about your license. What about it? The boys filed complaints. Said you were emotionally abusive. Said you told them you didn't trust them. Said you created a hostile environment. That's not what happened. I know. I know you. I know your history. But 3 kids saying the same thing looks bad. And with the police report about Wyatt, it creates a pattern of conflict. So what are you saying? I'm saying the state is reviewing your license. You might want to prepare for it to be suspended pending investigation. Suspended? After 37 years. After 42 kids. After dedicating my entire adult life to helping children nobody else wanted. Suspended because I gave one former placement a second chance and he used it to destroy everything I'd built. Yesterday I got the official letter. License suspended for 6 months pending investigation into the complaints. I sat in my empty house reading that letter over and over. Thinking about Wyatt. About the moment I opened my door and let him back in. I should have kept that door slammed shut. Should have protected myself. Protected the kids I was currently helping. Protected everything I'd built. But I didn't. I believed in redemption. Believed people could change. Believed that 4 years of trying to help him hadn't been completely worthless. I was wrong. About all of it. Wyatt used me. Stole from me. Destroyed irreplaceable memories. Poisoned my relationship with the kids I was actually helping. Cost me my license. Ruined my reputation. And somewhere out there, he's probably laughing about it. Probably telling the story of how he conned the old foster dad one more time. I keep replaying that moment. The doorbell ringing. Opening the door. Seeing him crying. If I could go back, I'd slam the door in his face. Call the police. Get a restraining order. Protect myself and everyone depending on me. But I can't go back. I can only sit here in my empty house with a suspended license and destroyed reputation and wish I'd made a different choice. Wyatt came back wanting to rebuild. I gave him a chance. Now I regret every single second. And I wish I'd kept that door slammed shut forever. The investigation started 2 weeks after my license was suspended. A state investigator named Jennifer Walsh showed up at my door with a clipboard and questions about every allegation the 3 boys had made. Did you tell Devin Martinez you didn't trust him? Yes. But context matters. Did you or didn't you? I did. But he was asking for money without explaining what it was for. After my former foster son had just stolen thousands of dollars from me. I had reasonable concerns. She wrote that down. No indication whether she believed me or thought I was making excuses. Did you create an environment where the boys felt unsafe expressing concerns? No. Absolutely not. All 3 boys independently reported feeling like you'd given up on them. That you compared them to Wyatt Coleman. That you made them feel like one mistake would get them kicked out. That's not accurate. But that's how they felt. Correct? I suppose so. But feelings aren't always based in reality. In foster care, Mr. Coleman, perception is reality. If children feel unsafe or unwelcome, that's a problem regardless of your intent. The investigation took 3 months. Jennifer interviewed me 4 times. Interviewed my former caseworker. Interviewed other foster parents I'd worked with over the years. Interviewed kids who'd successfully aged out of my care. Most of them defended me. Said I was fair. Structured. Caring. That I'd helped them tremendously. But 3 recent placements said I'd emotionally abandoned them. And in the state's eyes, that carried more weight than 37 years of success. During those 3 months, I had a lot of time to think. A lot of time alone in my empty house. I thought about Wyatt constantly. About every interaction we'd had since he showed up at my door. The tears. The apologies. The promises to change. All calculated. All manipulation. All designed to get exactly what he wanted. He'd studied me for 4 years while living here as a teenager. Learned exactly what buttons to push. Exactly what words would make me give him another chance. Rock bottom. Second chance. Changed man. All the phrases foster parents are conditioned to respond to. He'd played me perfectly. What made it worse was knowing I should have seen it coming. Should have recognized the pattern. Kids who steal and lie and manipulate don't suddenly change. Not without serious intervention. Not without therapy and accountability and years of hard work. Wyatt had done none of that. He'd just shown up crying and I believed him because I wanted to believe him. Because believing him meant the 4 years I'd invested hadn't been wasted. Meant I'd actually made a difference in his life. Pride. That's what it was. Pride made me vulnerable. Made me stupid. I started going through old journals from when Wyatt lived with me. I've kept journals for every placement. Notes about behaviors. Concerns. Progress. Setbacks. Reading back through Wyatt's entries was devastating. Age 14, stole $40 from my wallet. Denied it until I found the cash in his backpack. Grounded for 2 weeks. No remorse. Age 15, got caught shoplifting at the mall. Blamed the friend he was with. Refused to take responsibility. Court-ordered community service. Age 16, punched a hole in the living room wall during an argument about curfew. Threatened to burn this whole house down if I didn't back off. Police called. Mandatory anger management classes he refused to take seriously. Age 17, stole my late wife's wedding ring. Pawned it for $200. Spent the money on video games. Showed zero remorse when confronted. Said she was dead anyway so it didn't matter. That last entry made me close the journal. Made me realize how blind I'd been 3 months ago. This wasn't a kid who'd changed. This was a kid who'd learned to hide his true nature better. Learned to cry on command. Learned to say exactly what I needed to hear. The wedding ring incident should have been the end. Should have been the moment I accepted he was beyond my ability to help. But I'd kept trying. Kept believing he could change if I just gave him enough structure and love and support. I'd been wrong then. I was wrong now. The investigation concluded 4 months after it started. Jennifer Walsh called me with the results. Mr. Coleman, the state has decided to reinstate your license with conditions. What conditions? Mandatory training on trauma-informed care. Monthly supervision meetings with your caseworker. And no placements for 6 months while you complete the training. 6 months. Yes. The state believes you acted with good intentions but poor judgment. The training will help you better handle similar situations in the future. Poor judgment. That was one way to describe it. I completed the training. Sat through 8 weeks of seminars about understanding trauma responses. About not taking children's behaviors personally. About maintaining boundaries while still showing care. Everything I'd already known. Everything I'd practiced for 37 years. But now I had to prove I understood it. During those 6 months, I had one visitor. Devin Martinez. One of the 3 boys who'd filed complaints. He showed up at my door on a Saturday afternoon. Looked uncomfortable. Can I come in? Of course. We sat in the same living room where Wyatt had cried and apologized. Where I believed his lies. I wanted to say I'm sorry, Devin said. For the complaint. For what I said about you. Why the change of heart? Because I got placed with a family that actually is abusive. And it made me realize you weren't. You were just protecting yourself. And I punished you for it. What's happening at your current placement? Stuff I can't talk about. But it's bad. And I told my caseworker I want to leave. And she asked where I wanted to go. And I said back to you. But she said you weren't taking placements right now. My heart broke. This kid had learned the hard way what actual abuse looked like. And now he was stuck there because I couldn't take him back. I'm sorry, Devin. My license is restricted right now. Because of the complaints. I know. That's why I'm here. I'm going to file a withdrawal of my complaint. Tell them I was wrong. That you didn't do anything wrong. Will that help? My caseworker thinks it might. If all 3 of us withdraw, they might lift the restriction early. What about the other 2? I talked to them. They feel the same way. We messed up. We were angry about Wyatt and we took it out on you. And we're sorry. 2 weeks later, all 3 boys filed formal withdrawals of their complaints. Admitted they'd exaggerated. Admitted their anger had been misdirected. The state lifted the restriction on my license. I could take placements again. But I didn't want to. The Wyatt situation had broken something in me. Some fundamental belief that I could help anyone if I just tried hard enough. I'd learned a hard lesson. Some people don't want help. They want something from you. And they'll say whatever necessary to get it. Wyatt had wanted money. Wanted a place to stay. Wanted someone to exploit. He got all of it. And when I finally cut him off, he destroyed what he couldn't take. That's who he was. Not a troubled kid who needed support. A predator who'd learned to mimic remorse. 6 months after my license was fully reinstated, I got a call from a detective. Mr. Coleman? This is Detective Sarah Chen. We spoke about Wyatt Coleman about a year ago. I remember. We found him. Or rather, he got himself arrested. Attempted burglary. He's in county jail awaiting trial. Okay. He's asking to speak with you. Says he wants to apologize. Make amends. Asked if you'd be willing to write a character letter for his sentencing. A character letter? Another manipulation. Another attempt to use me. No. You're sure? He seemed genuine. Said he's been in therapy. Working on himself. Really regretful. I'm sure. He's a liar and a thief. And I have nothing to say to him. Understood. I'll let him know. She hung up. I sat there thinking about what would have happened if she'd called a year ago. Before Wyatt destroyed my trust. Before the investigation. Before I learned my lesson. I probably would have visited him. Probably would have believed the therapy story. Probably would have written the letter. And he would have used it. Used me again. Because that's what he does. But I wasn't that person anymore. Wasn't the foster dad who believed in redemption at all costs. I was the foster dad who'd learned that some doors need to stay closed. Some people don't deserve second chances. 2 months later, Wyatt was sentenced to 3 years in prison. I didn't attend the hearing. Didn't write a letter. Didn't acknowledge his existence. He sent me a letter from prison a week after sentencing. I recognized his handwriting on the envelope. Almost threw it away without opening it. But curiosity got the better of me. I opened it. Dad, I know you don't want to hear from me. I know I destroyed your trust. But I need you to know I'm genuinely sorry. Prison has given me time to think about everything I've done. All the people I've hurt. Especially you. You tried to help me and I threw it back in your face. I was angry and stupid and I hurt the one person who actually cared. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that I finally understand what I lost. What I threw away. And I'm sorry. I hope someday you can believe that. Love, Wyatt. I read it twice. Looking for the manipulation. Looking for the angle. Found it in the last paragraph. I'm up for parole in 18 months. If you'd be willing to speak at my hearing. Tell them how I was as a kid. How you tried to help me. It might make a difference. I understand if you can't. But I had to ask. There it was. The real purpose of the letter. Not apology. Not genuine remorse. Just another attempt to use me. I burned the letter in my fireplace. Watched the paper curl and blacken and turn to ash. Then I blocked his prison ID from my mailing address. Made sure he couldn't send another one. I'm 64 now. Still a licensed foster parent. But I haven't taken a new placement in 8 months. I tell people I'm taking a break. Recovering from the Wyatt situation. Processing everything that happened. But the truth is simpler. I don't trust my judgment anymore. I don't trust that I can tell the difference between genuine need and sophisticated manipulation. I don't trust that I won't make the same mistake again. Won't open my door to someone who'll destroy everything I've built. So I stay alone. Safe. Protected. But also empty. The house is too quiet. Too still. I miss the chaos of teenagers. Miss the challenges and the victories and the feeling of making a difference. But I'm too scared to risk it again. Devin calls me sometimes. Checks in. He's doing better. Got placed with a good family. Graduating high school next year. Talking about college. You should take placements again, he said during our last call. You're too good at it to quit. I don't know if I'm good at it anymore. You helped me. You helped a lot of us. Wyatt was just one bad situation. Don't let him destroy everything. But he already did destroy everything. Not the license or the house or the tangible things. He destroyed my belief that I could help anyone. That trying mattered. That second chances were worth the risk. I used to think giving up on people was the worst thing a foster parent could do. Now I know that's not true. The worst thing is giving someone a second chance when they don't deserve it. Opening yourself up to someone who'll use your compassion against you. Letting one person's manipulation poison your ability to help anyone else. That's what Wyatt did. Not just to me. To every kid who could have benefited from my help over the past 8 months. They're the real victims of his con. The kids I'm too broken to help because he taught me that kindness is just vulnerability waiting to be exploited. I keep thinking about that moment. The doorbell ringing. Opening the door. Seeing him standing there with tears in his eyes. If I could go back, I'd slam that door so hard it'd echo through the neighborhood. I'd call the police. Get a restraining order. Protect myself and everything I'd built. But I can't go back. I can only sit in my quiet house. Alone. Safe. Broken. Wyatt wanted to rebuild our relationship. I gave him that chance. Now I regret every second. And I wish I'd kept that door slammed shut forever. Because some doors exist for a reason. Some boundaries exist to protect you. Some people don't deserve access to your life. I learned that lesson the hardest way possible. And I'll never forget it again. The end.